The UAE's 52nd National Day, which falls on the 2nd of December, is special this year. It coincides with Cop28, the International Climate Summit taking place at Expo City in Dubai. 2023 is the UAE's Year of Sustainability. As the country was gearing up to host the Global Climate Summit, it has shown commitment to support action and innovation in the field of sustainability. This year has witnessed several initiatives, activities, collective action, and events that drew upon the UAE's deep-rooted values of sustainability. So how will COP28 provide an opportunity for the UAE to take actions towards a sustainable future? This is Beyond the Headlines, and I'm your host, Suhail Akram. Today, I'm joined by Mariam Al-Muraiki, the Strategic Digital Manager for Year of Sustainability, and she's also a member of the Organizing Committee of the 52nd Union Day. And we also have with us Mira Abdullah Al-Mutawwa, the Strategy and Guest Experience Lead at the UAE House of Sustainability at COP28. But before we get started, remember to like and subscribe to Beyond the Headlines so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thank you so much, Mariam and Mira, for joining us. My first question is to Mariam. Mariam, this is an amazing year in terms of we have the year of sustainability and now we have COP28 basically in the same year. So I want to start with like a bit of a background. Why was year 2023 announced as the year of sustainability? What were the aims behind it?
I just want to give you a bit of more background. So we've been actually preparing for the year of sustainability for a whole year. Unlike any other themed year in the past, this year was more about focusing on behavior change. So it's not just awareness, it's how do we drive behavior change. Of course, the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, announced 2023 as the Year of Sustainability under the theme Today for Tomorrow. And it's to solidify the nation's commitment to addressing current changes and promoting sustainable practices at an individual and community level to protect the land, resources, and people. So we know that sustainability needs to start from everyone, from companies, organizations, but it's important for the individual to know that your actions matter, our actions count. And what we've done is through a series of action-led activations and initiatives, we have been ongoing throughout the year, and we aim to encourage individuals and communities to adopt an environmentally conscious lifestyle in order to have a collective positive impact towards climate change and ensure a sustainable, flourishing future for our climate. And one of the things that people maybe forget is that sustainability isn't just about environment, it's actually about taking care of ourselves and our money. So this is why we wanted to start this year with the individual.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's brilliant. In fact, we as like the residents here or the citizens here who have traveled around the country, we have seen a lot of initiatives sort of like, taking a leap in terms of environment and sustainability. I want to ask you, like, what inspired the launch of this initiative of the Year of Sustainability? Like, what was the seed? What was the idea?
So the idea started from the point that sustainability can be overwhelming. It is an overwhelming concept for many people, and it's often perceived like the climate action to be a government responsibility. What do I have to do with it? It's not my responsibility. But it's rather something that they can contribute to directly. And at the Year of Sustainability, we wanted to promote the idea that collective action and small steps taken by individuals at the community level is equally important and can significantly impact climate change. So as the government works on policy making and macro changes through initiatives such as Net Zero 2050 and hosting COP28, we wanted to unite the efforts across all fronts and influence sustainable behavior change at the public level through individuals, communities, and focusing on three main areas that an individual can contribute to, which is responsible consumption, conservation, and climate action.
Yeah, that's great. I think these are three important talking points. I want to bring in Meera Abdullah here. Meera, you're the strategy and guest experience lead at the UAE House of Sustainability at COP. It's a buzzing time, right? 70,000 people sort of dawning on at the Expo site. So tell us a little bit about maybe first, like how do you look at this, the year of sustainability sort of coinciding with COP28? What does it mean to you, given you are at the site? Tell us a little bit about, give us a bit of a color.
I mean, it is really exciting that COP28 is coinciding with our year of sustainability. You know, the UAE is so honored to host the world. People are flying in from all around the world, and also, you know, our domestic communities. And you are seeing this excitement around sustainability, you know, more than any other time. And of course, it's, you know, partly to the incredible efforts that the year of sustainability has been doing throughout the year, but also, you know, when you're here with people who are all passionate about the subject or just curious about climate change, then you have these incredible, enriching conversations and, you know, solutioning together. There's an incredible energy on site right now, and I'm sure it's just going to ramp up from here as the event kicks off.
Oh, that's brilliant. I want to come back to you to know more things about the sustainability pavilion. We need to know a lot more, like what's happening, what is the exciting stuff happening there. But I'll go back to Mariam here. So, Mariam, to what extent do you think the Year of Sustainability initiative, engages with the policymakers, both inside the country and outside, sort of influence and support sustainable practices, at a broader level?
So the main focus of the Year of Sustainability is the individual. We collaborated with policymakers and experts through our Sustainability Experts Network, where we worked with individuals such as Amar al-Breiki, Abdallah Ramaithi, and Maith al-Hamli, all whom worked directly and they're involved with the COP28 negotiations, as well as working with several sustainability initiatives. In addition, we also worked with local experts who can provide their insights from financial to health, social and environmental perspectives. And we wanted to understand from the experts on the best practices towards sustainability. How can we simplify it? How can it make sense? And within the UAE's context, obviously. So we've noticed that for people to embrace the concept of sustainability, it needs to be near. It doesn't, all the content that we've seen about sustainability is about the ice melting, and it feels so far away to people. So we needed to make sure that this collective impact on the environment is wide-reaching, but it has to make sense in the efforts rooted in an individual behavior.
No,
change.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, it might sometimes like sound far-fetched that global warming is happening someplace else, the polar caps are like melting someplace else, but it has a direct impact on where we live. um I was wondering, like, you grew up here. How do you look at like the country now in terms of when you were kids? Like when I came to live in Dubai, you come with an assumption that it's an arid place, like the temperature is going to be super hot, which it is. But at the same time, you find like so many sustainable projects happening around the city. The main urban areas of the city are so green, right? So tell us a little bit about, like share some memories of your past, of your childhood, and then seeing the country then to now, if that's okay. Maybe I can start with Mira.
You know, as Emiratis, we always remain very tied to this land. You know, I spent a lot of my childhood with my grandmother, actually, and she'd take me on holidays and weekends to our family house in Al Ain. There was sand all over the garden, and you know, we would go to the beautiful Al Ain oasis, and you know, so it's such an intergenerational thing. This appreciation for our environment, and even like, you know, when it's winter, I'm sure you've seen a lot of us, not just Emiratis, everyone who calls the UAE home, loves to go to the desert to camp out and all of that. And I think that remains very much you know, a sense of who we are. But I feel like with what the Year of Sustainability has been doing, we're just being more conscious now and really encouraging behavior change in terms of how can we protect this environment more, or how can we take better decisions in, for example, how we travel, or how we consume electricity, or how where what we choose to eat. And so these kind of this more awareness is what I'm seeing, a beautiful shift now. And we say our ancestors always had that; it was their way of life. And so it's lovely to see now that this generation is becoming more and more aware again.
That's a lovely answer. Mariam, recollection of some of the memories?
Thank you, Mira. I mean, you covered a lot of beautiful things. I think we have shared memories since we live in a similar environment. But I feel like the progress, like I remember when we used to take road trips to, the Emirates, or when we'd come to Dubai from Abu Dhabi, and a big chunk of this land was desert, like we would reach deep into the city and that's where the buildings show up. And now it's like you can see the development throughout the roads, like whether it's buildings, whether it's greenery. I remember those details, like felt like a white page, or I'd say a beige page, and then we started sketching it and building it together. And I think for me specifically, like knowing that our ancestors were practicing sustainability, but it wasn't called sustainability. It was their way of life. It was because the resources were scarce. There weren't any abundance of things available. So they'd rely on reusing, upcycling, like for example, the telly dress, or, the jalabiya, they would, once the clothes are worn out, they would take the telly and, put it on a new dress. And those kinds of behavior really shows you what sustainability is. But now when I tell, for example, my mom sustainability or istidama in Arabic, she'd be like, what is this word? It's too complex. So I think it's breaking it down. When we started breaking it down in the year of sustainability, and we had this activation called inherited sustainability, because honestly, this land, or the people, our ancestors, have lived and breathed sustainability way before it was a trend or it was impacting the climate. But I think what happened was, with the rapid human development, our needs have changed, our lifestyle have changed, our access to things have changed, because alhamdulillah, we have access to water, unlike back in the day. We have easy access to water, we have easy access to electricity. The fundamentals, or the small things, are easily accessible, which might be taken for granted. And this is where, as Mira said, we need to have this perspective shift and look at things on our consumption. Just because it's available doesn't mean it's not scarce, or it's not, something that we need to take care of and not take for granted.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's a brilliant answer, especially when you touched upon how sustainability for our ancestors, it maybe necessarily was not a buzzword, but it was a necessity, not necessarily a luxury, a necessity. And then they made use of it. And this reminds me, like, still, when you go to old Dubai and you go around old souks or Al Seef, you see those, like the air conditioning chimneys.
Barjil.
Barjil,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
like
Bajil.
exactly. So that's something that's a brilliant part of engineering. It doesn't need electricity. I think it's the best form of sustainability that you can see, like in terms of infrastructure and civil engineering, right?
Yeah, there's actually, if you allow me, there's another example of how we used natural materials available in our environment for building, and those were sustainable. So, for example, using coral, it was one of the few building materials available, and it's incredible how this porous material works. It doesn't allow heat during the day to enter into the house. It actually just holds it into the coral, and then at night it's a natural way of warming the house, so it starts releasing it slowly into the house at night. So it's really just using our environment, and like that's genius, that's innovative, and we actually highlight some of those elements in our pavilion as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, nice touch point there, Mira. So yeah, let's go to the UAE pavilion now. You are there, sort of, you're managing it. Tell us about this pavilion. Why is this important at the COP summit? and what does it entail?
Yes, of course. So the UAE House of Sustainability is really our platform to share our nation's sustainability journey, looking at our past, present, and future. And so we start with the ingenuity of our ancestors and their resilience and they've really managed to live in this environment of extreme heat and saline soil, but they have had incredible values like optimism and resilience. And so with our founders, with our visionary founding father and the union of this country and the stewards, the youth who are taking these values forward, we are all together building a future for sustainable flourishing and heading towards our net zero commitments as a nation. And so you will walk through this kind of experiential timeline, I'd say, of our nation's journey. And there's a lot you can interact with when you're there.
And Mira, for someone who is going to be at COP venue visitors, where are you guys located? Tell us a little bit about the location, basically, just to help people out.
Yes, of course. So the pavilion is going to be based in the green zone of COP28. So I don't know if people are aware with how COP, but usually there is a blue zone and a green zone. And so to be able to access the green zone, you just need to go to the official COP28 website and just register there to be able to access. The pavilion itself is just first come, first served basis. So you just arrive, show up, and you're very welcome to enjoy our beautiful sustainability oasis that will have lots of cultural programming and also pop cups, which are these really innovative climate kind of community activations. And I think it should be a bit straightforward to find it because it's actually the same UAE pavilion building that was our pavilion in Expo 2020 Dubai. So if you remember that building, it's actually the same one, but it's been reimagined to share our sustainability story.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, being among someone who regularly visited the UAE pavilion during the expo, I mean, I'm looking forward to this amazing experience. If nothing else, the structure of the building, the engineering of the building, the wings, the white wings that you see, that's just breathtaking, right?
Yeah, I mean, the design has been inspired by a falcon in flight. It's really beautiful. You see it move throughout the day, and it has been designed by this world-renowned architect, Santiago Calatrava. And so, yes, we're very excited for people to come and see it. And honestly, it's beautiful all hours of the day, morning or evening.
So we talked about how the COP28 is coinciding or is part of the year of sustainability. We also have both of these events sort of coinciding with the Union Day that's upon us, right? So that's kind of a trilogy of goodness, trilogy of amazingness. So tell us a little bit about that, Union Day, 52nd Union Day of the country, and the UAE sustainability efforts going on in this year. Mariam, how do you look at it?
Coinciding with the COP28 and the Year of Sustainability, the official ceremony will be taking place at Expo City, Dubai this year. The official ceremony weaves an inspiring narrative of unity and collective action as it highlights the UAE's sustainability journey from the Union in 1971 to the present day. There's a lot of symbols around various elements like the Sadu weaving. The show illustrates the legacy of our ancestors and the relationship between tradition and technology, reflecting our shared commitment to nurturing and preserving interconnected world. One of the things that we kept on talking about as well is as the UAE is hosting COP28, we're basically bringing the world to come to a narrative, to an agreement on how we can tackle climate change. And one of the things that we were looking at as we're preparing for Union Day is that in 1971, we were able to collectively agree on becoming one nation and working together for the development of humans and the land and the people. We believe that if anyone, the UAE can bring the world into a common and unified narrative with the blessings of Union Day, that we can come together and unify on what we can do, the solutions we can come up with to tackle climate change.
That was nicely put. I mean, it's It was quite a quote, like drawing an analogy with the Union of 1971 and the blessings of this day on COP28. So, Mira, on the ground level, what do you think is going to happen at the pavilion on the Union Day? Some of the highlights.
Yeah, so on Union Day, we will have cultural programming that you will be able to enjoy in our sustainability oasis. And we will also have a lovely sustainable giveaway that we are very excited about, kind of tying into this concept of, using sustainable materials and really contributing to the flourishing environment. And so this is some of the things that you will see. We're also going to light up the building with the National Day colors. So you'll be able to enjoy it as well in the evening. But there is, Union Day or not, there's a lot to enjoy in the pavilion itself. It's such a multi-sensory experience, and whether you're in the oasis itself, or you're in the lower level, or you're up in the atrium, there are like AI generated experiences, or things that you can really smell, or projections that you can see, or like a 300-degree theater that you can watch a short film in. So there is a lot to enjoy throughout the duration of 3rd of December to the 12th of December.
That's brilliant. We're kind of reaching to the end of our discussion here. One last question for both of you, Mira and Mariam. Both of you have been crucial part of the year of sustainability, been there, sort of done that, seen a lot of sustainability initiatives, being part of them. If I may ask you, what is one thing for both of you that you have taken out from this year in terms of the message, or like the initiative that you like the most? Maybe I can start with Mira.
I mean, oh my God, where do I start? Just this whole appreciation for this land has been more profound this year. And so I've been really on a personal level, just working more on, being more climate conscious and the choices that I make, but also kind of trying to be a little ambassador for my network and people around me. And, what a great privilege it is for me to be able to work on the House of Sustainability, because then I get to share that with the world as well. There's this huge effect that you can have an impact on people, where you get them all in one place and they solution together and they co-create and they think together and have these conversations about different pillars of our sustainability. And it's such a universal concept as well. It's local, but it's also universal. And so I think that was the biggest thing for me on a personal level, and seeing how I can widen the impact to a bigger audience. Yes.
That's brilliant. And Mariam?
I feel the same. There are so many takeaways. I think starting with the year of sustainability, it was looking at the small actions. It was looking at the water bottle that I don't carry. I have, a water dispenser at home and I use it. But then when I go out, because everywhere I go, there's water bottles, whether it's in the office, in any other meetings. So I never thought of carrying my reusable water bottle. And I think it started with that. And I remember looking, like right now, thank you for this question, because there's a lot that happened since the beginning of the year. But looking back, the best thing, or the one takeaway that I would share, is that sustainability isn't one thing or the other. It's not about I'm sustainable or I'm not sustainable. There isn't a black or white kind of version of it. It's about taking the steps. And even if one day, for example, I forget my water bottle, it shouldn't be about giving up. It was more about a choice. And choices are easy to make once you're conscious. I realized that it's about those small choices. It's about the choices that matter in terms of how can I make a better impact. And I remember telling someone one day, I'm like, if I don't take my water bottle with me, that's a day where I'm going to be thirsty and dehydrated because I'm trying to change my behavior and I'm taking it seriously.
Thanks again, Mariam and Mira, for joining us today, and thanks for listening to this episode of Beyond the Headlines. For more coverage on COP28 in the UAE, Please subscribe to get every episode and follow our coverage at www.thenationalnews.com and all our social media platforms. This episode was produced by Dua Fareed, Phil Green, and Arthur Edison, and I'm your host, Suhail Akram.